Thank you, Chief Marshal, Excellencies, trustees, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, students, staff, alumni, and friends of AUB. Welcome to the 151st Founders Day ceremony. We are delighted to welcome you to your university, where we have a number of exciting events planned today. These include an inspiring first-place award-winning essay by Kamil Wehbi, a sophomore in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences in Political Sciences, a magnificent second-place video by two senior architecture students, not coincidentally both named Nadine Eid and Nadine Abdussalam. And my congratulations also go to the third-place contestants, Ausdik Ilbab, a sophomore in history. In addition, we are honored and delighted to have Trustee Dr. Jose Zaglul, a transformative leader of the Global South, an AUB alumnus and the founding president of Earth University, as our Founders Day speaker. More on Jose in a little bit. We also have a beautiful musical interlude, all reminding us of the time of the year when the founding fathers wished for us to redouble our purpose in order to make meaningful opportunities in the lives of those less fortunate. At the end of the ceremony, I invite you to visit the tent outside Assembly Hall to explore the AUB 360-degree virtual campus tour that was made possible through a generous donation by our alumnus, Mr. Abdullah Darwish, and developed by Paravision. And now it's my pleasure and privilege to announce the winners. The third place winner, the third prize, is awarded to sophomore Ausdik Ilbab, majoring in history in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences. Aus, please come to the stage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't let the provost trip you.
And the second place winner, and this is an unusual visual essay, is awarded to seniors Nadine Eid and Nadine Abdussalam, majoring in architecture in the Maroon Samran Faculty of Engineering and Architecture, for their video, The Roll of Paper, which you're about to see. But Nadine and Nadine, could you please join me first? I think we will now show the video.
I am the paper. I roll and roll. I connect spaces. I trespass boundaries. I negotiate. I exist in voids. I am everywhere. I run in infinite times. I create possibilities. I am the roll of paper. I represent the medium of interaction. Across the years, the American University of Beirut has been credited for great achievements and events that incorporated encounters extending from the ground into the air. Achievements or current events that occur by the calendar focus on the end product, yet ever past the process, the trajectory that paves the way for chances and possibilities. The transient spaces that form a dynamic landscape, continuously transforming according to the constant flow and the change of knowledge. The process happens in the voids, in places where students connect, communicate beyond the four walls of the classroom. Since the education system focuses solely on the result and the grade, the process becomes manipulated, abridged, and vacant of continuous innovation. In the words of Peter Allen, a composer of a chair has the same place. It is not the piece, the composition, the given structure that is important, The campus resembles an organism with functions and spaces resembling its open transformable cells that adapt and grow together with the users to generate a cohesive network of interactions. As architecture students, we have experienced the removal of obligatory courses dealing with structured and mechanical systems that used to widen our scope in the real world outside. In contrast to the archetypal man introduced by Michelangelo, the artist was an amalgam of the architect, the sculptor, the poet, the painter, and the skilled engineer with all the disciplines embodied in one corresponding. Today, the world haunts us, generating a contribution that motivates us to think outside the box while we're entrapped inside. What walls do we have to knock down in the realm of education before we can get to the actual classroom walls? What if learning happens without walls, beneath a transparent, unhierarchical system that influences the tailored trajectories of all? Under the name of equity and equality, and within the light of democracy, the system has aimed to provide every student with the same possibilities, the same opportunities, and the same curriculum, expecting each one of us to develop liberally in making our own decisions, yet criticizing us for doing so. How can AUB develop the education it provides? How can education be part and parcel of trust and respect between the student and the instructor? What is needed is a cohesive educational system that is aware of the questions raised by the student's beliefs so that he or she would come to their own conclusions. In line with Plato and his allegory of the cave, education requires a reorientation of the whole self. It is a transformative experience that respects the uniqueness of the student's own pace. It happens in line with the desire of the student to interact with others in in-between spaces. Spaces that represent voids, holding capability and potential for learning. I am the roll of paper. I refuse to be torn apart. I am resistant to the flame. I have crossed the walls, trespassed the boundaries, and generated the landscape of social learning. I carry the traces of my users and record their movements and trajectories to construct their lives.
That certainly was very inspiring. Thank you, Nadine and Nadine. Now, it's my pleasure and privilege to announce that the first prize is awarded to sophomore Kamil Wehbi, majoring in political sciences in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, for his essay, The Foundations of Greatness. Kamil, please join me on stage.
Thank you all so much. I am so grateful to be a recipient of this award and to be keeping such extraordinary company, including President Fadlu Khouri and our guest of honor, Dr. Jose Zaglul, and esteemed faculty. You'll have to excuse me, I have a sore throat. I might sound a bit funny at times. First and foremost, I would like to thank my parents for not disowning me when sending them this semester's tuition fee bill, and for being both my means and my ends. I would also want to send warm thanks to Ms. Kitty Battah, my principal from Muslim Learning Community and teacher since 3rd grade, alongside Ms. Denise DeWurst, for being my lifelong source of guidance and inspiration. I am also particularly happy to be speaking in the presence of Dr. Talal Nizamuddin, a man who taught me not to settle nor yield and joined the university for me 6 months ago in this very hall. My conversations with Dr. Patrick McGreevy were also instrumental in the writing of this essay, and for that I am very appreciative. And now I will begin reading my essay, The Foundations of Greatness. While attending the American University of Beirut to study economics and political science, I never imagined I would be sitting in a planetary geology class. Like many curious children, I had a keen interest in the secrets the universe kept, but cared little for the chemical composition of the Martian surface. As my mind began to wander throughout a lecture, I was vigorously pulled back into that post-hall classroom by my professor's statement, Mount Olympus on Mars has a young surface of a mere 10 million years. The thought that such an age is relatively negligible baffled me. AUB, the historic pride of Lebanon and the region alike, has been in existence for 152 years. That is a speck in the cosmic timeline. I will be pursuing my undergraduate studies for a brief 3 years. The clock is ticking, and it urges us all to question what the abundance of life we so secretly seek is. Life is not abundant in terms of time, wealth, or any other quantitative parameter. Life is abundant and enriched by resonating impact. And in that sense, I'm very proud to say that AUB is eternal. Our founder, Daniel Bliss, hinted this definition of abundance, declaring we were not anxious to appear great. Rather, we were anxious to lay the foundations upon which greatness could be built. This university has gracefully held on to ideals of engaged leadership, equality, and service throughout world wars, civil conflicts, and the rise and fall of many nations. AUB has and continues to lay the foundations of greatness in the region, and I must say worldwide, through creating and educating critical thinkers, synergy with our community in Ras Beirut, groundbreaking research, and scholarship opportunities. I want to take you back a bit. Cornelius van Dyck, a founding professor of our forerunner, the Syrian Protestant College, was instrumental in reviving classic Arabic language and literature. His Arabic translations of textbooks in science, history, and mathematics made a wealth of knowledge accessible to students in the region who otherwise would have been prevented from learning information like that. Paving the road for Al-Nahda, the Arab Renaissance, Van Dyck passed the baton to alumnus Philippe Khouri Hitti of 1908, who essentially created modern Arabic studies and weaved our language within the United States through his teachings in Stanford and Harvard. AUB stands at the forefront of regional socio-political movements. Konstantin Zurek, an AUB graduate and president, sparked the Arab nationalism movement. Zurek also coined the term Nakba, giving Palestinians and Arabs a philosophy and a cause to cling on to, a reminder to endure. This institution and these individuals succeeded in preserving and advancing the defining constituents of Arab identity. Today, the world is being shaken by regressive nationalism, the force of cultures, and global political tension. Lebanon is a victim of the aftershock from the resignation of our Prime Minister and the unknown lost fate of our war-torn neighbors. The conditions are not ideal, but AUB is no stranger to difficult conditions, and history is a testament of that. While others close borders, AUB opens its gates through scholarships to refugees and disadvantaged students, equipping them with the tools necessary to become agents of change in their communities. Our faculties and institutes have dedicated tens of initiatives to remedy the issue of internally displaced persons. AUB Medical Center is pioneering conflict medicine, providing care for the region's wounded and vulnerable through innovative research and technology. Similarly, our labs house students making sustainable energy a reality in developing countries. Our marriage to our neighborhood, our proportional student elections, our attempts to achieve gender equality dating back to 1924 before even Oxford and Harvard, and our ethos are all emulated by the region's universities. The future promises more success with AUB MC 2020 vision and our prolific Boldly AUB campaign. That is the AUB character. This character allowed AUB to produce the largest number of presidents, prime ministers, leaders in the Arab world. This pursuit of excellence is the reason 19 of the members signing the UN Charter in 1945 were AUB graduates, surpassing the number of graduates from any other university in the world. Our very own Charles Malik drafted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, persistently protecting humanity and human dignity ever since then. The AUB character, a hunger for change, is the cohesive force linking our freshmen to our alumni across continents and seas. However, this character is at risk. AUB, as a transformative force, is facing its greatest challenge yet. And no, it is not war nor recession, but the recent careerist and number-oriented mentality adopted by students and at times, dare I say, the faculty and institution. Lack of empathy is the root of most social ills dominating our society today, from misogynism to racism to elitism. Our pursuit of status and prestige are compromising our empathy and service. AUB, ranking as the #1 university in the Arab world, is a monumental result of elevating academic standards based on international criteria. Although such a ranking is needed to continue attracting such transformative students and faculty, it must not come at the expense of civic engagement. There is this constant tension between developing into a global research powerhouse and remaining loyal to the liberal arts model. Classes are becoming much bigger. The individual attention received by students is in danger, and the Socratic method, defining the informed debate we're so proud of, is becoming increasingly difficult to implement. Faculty members are prioritizing international research and theoretical research and international publication in journals over creating local impact. Many students, likewise, are developing a utilitarian view towards service, engaging in extracurriculars solely for their resumes and focusing too narrowly on academics. This defies the AUB character. As President Fadl Khouri once said, our students must enter the world not only with a mission to find a job, no, but a willingness to create jobs for others. It will take a joint effort between us students and faculty to balance stellar academia and genuine experiential resonating learning. Our history is worth being proud of. Our current performance as the international community bears witness is worth being proud of. However, we must rid ourselves of pride and entitlement. Ability breeds responsibility. We are indebted to the community that gave us the privilege of such an education. The region seeps into us just as we seep into it. Our relationship is reciprocal. And that is why we are the American University of Beirut, not the American University in Beirut. We are of the region, of the country, and of the world. Likewise, the country, the region, and the world are of us. I am the only AUB student, undergraduate AUB student in my family's history and my southern Lebanese village, Mahrouna. My 3 younger brothers look up to me and want to see someone who will make a difference. I have seen violence, poverty, and countless barriers to education. The people of my village expect me to find answers. And that is exactly what the AUB name entails. It entails expectations and responsibilities to those around us. The world is waiting for us to emerge from turmoil stronger, uplifting our community with us. They are not waiting for us to appear great with credentials or rankings. We are expected to continue laying the foundations upon which greatness is built. And I'm glad to say I am certain we will not disappoint. Thank you very much.
That was certainly extremely impressive. Thank you, Cameron. Before I introduce our speaker for today's Founders Day, I want to thank the committee of Aaron Zimmerman, Nadim Moadi, Nasser Yassin, and Kaukab Shbaro, who spent many hours reviewing the essays and judging them. They got a ton of fantastic essays, so thank you very much to the committee. Excellences, trustees, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, students, staff, and alumni and friends of AUB. The great Abraham Lincoln once said, "To ease another's heartache is to forget one's own." On Founders Day, we forget all of our challenges and remember again why the university was founded, to create better lives and better opportunities for those who have little, if any, of either. The university was founded by men who knew and mandated that one day they would mentor the future mentors, to teach the teachers, to turn over the reins of this great font of learning to the native peoples of this part of the world. And today you heard and saw extraordinary essays and visual images of committed and compassionate leadership from several of our own stellar AUB students. You are our students, but you are also our teachers. José Zaghloul fits perfectly into this narrative and would have fit ideally into the plans, ambitions, and goals of the Founding Fathers. Hailing from a humble family that comes from the north of this country, his father and mother came from Hasrun, and his parents immigrated to San Ramon, Costa Rica. After getting his bachelor's degree in agriculture and nutrition from AUB, as well as a diploma as an ingénieur agricole, he obtained 2 masters, a master's of science in animal sciences from AUB, and a master's in human nutrition from the University of Florida, where he would go on to get his PhD. In 1987, Jose set off to help create Earth University, an international private not-for-profit institution located in Costa Rica's most humid tropics. There he created a university dedicated to the formation of leaders with ethical values, one who would contribute to sustainable development of the earth and the construction of a prosperous and just society. As the founding president of Earth, Dr. Zaghloul certainly led the development of the institution's philosophy and strategic vision and provided continuous, courageous, and innovative leadership. Under that leadership, AUB's great alumnus, José Zaghloul, has led Earth to graduate more than 2,100 students from 39 different countries, now spread all across the globe and transforming their societies and making Earth's mission into a reality. José's footprint of ethical and sustainable leadership is therefore literally everywhere on the Earth. So it's safe to say that the founders of AUB would have been especially proud of the humble man who, as the varsity goalkeeper, was known to wear a t-shirt that said, "Young, beautiful leftist." And I was privileged to attend his final graduation ceremony where our board chair, Philip Khoury, got an honorary doctorate. Where as president of Earth, we were able to see after the ceremony, he has a t-shirt which now says, "Still young, beautiful leftist." Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to present to you our trustee and one of the most inspiring leaders in academia and in fact in world leadership anywhere. A man who's educated, mentored, motivated, and nominated young people to become tomorrow's leaders, and who has himself been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for building a sustainable educational model of ethical leadership. Welcome to your alma mater, to your university, my friend and role model, Dr. Jose Sahlin.
Excellencies, trustees, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, students, staff, alumni, and friends of AUB. Before I start, I want to congratulate the students that won the award. And I want to congratulate you on your speech. You are an inspiration, and you show that AUB students are the future and the force that can change the world. Thank you very much for your words. And Dr. Khoury, thank you for the nicest introduction. Dr. Khoury found out that I was the goalkeeper of the varsity a few months ago. And when he called me, I thought he was calling me to play soccer. but he called me to give me this incredible surprise, an invitation to speak at this important ceremony. I am very honored to have the great privilege of standing before you to pay tribute to those who had the courage 151 years ago to establish this institution. Since the creation of this university, 2 world wars have happened, and many geopolitical conditions have affected Lebanon and the Arab region. AUB has suffered, along with the country and the region, periods of political turbulence, wars, invasions, and even the tragic death of its president Malcolm Carey in 1984. Yet, AUB has withstood the difficult moments, and it has done that with integrity, courage, and a commitment to maintain its academic spirit. AUB continues to provide education and promote freedom of expression tempered with respect. And it has always provided health services to anyone who needed them, regardless of the patient's background. It has had the capacity to keep its door open, even in the most uncertain moments. AUB understands its role as a catalyst of well-being of the region. As a result, this esteemed university has been a positive and influential player for many generations. AUB's proven tenacity makes it a very special institution, and it has shown over the years that it cannot be shaken nor destroyed. Thanks to those who had the vision and the courage to build AUB upon solid rock, we can be here today to celebrate the achievements of this wonderful site of learning. And I want us to remember the words of our second president, Howard Bliss, in 1911, and he said, "The purpose of the college is not to produce singly or chiefly men who are doctors, men who are pharmacists, men who are merchants, men who are preachers, teachers, lawyers, editors, statesmen, but it's the purpose of the college to produce doctors who are men, pharmacists who are men, merchants who are men, preachers, teachers, lawyers, editors, statesmen who are men." President Bliss' statement is still very relevant today, except I think AUB and I will both emphasize men and women. Apart from that, I strongly believe in what he said. As a university, the center of our attention is the human being, the individuals, the women and men who we are educating. The reason universities were created was to form ethical leaders to guide our society toward prosperity, harmony, honesty, respect, dignity, and peace. And of course, to generate new knowledge to research and to innovate. Unfortunately, it seems that universities, even AUB, have lost a little bit of that north. We have become too focused on the disciplines that we teach, in the advancement of our profession, in the skill we develop, in the grades that the students get. Many now measure success in terms of money and material goods that we accumulate. These things are important, but they are not the most important reason for which universities were created, nor are they the only things that we should live for or we think that they make us happy. But as I said, our primary role as educational institutions is to form ethical leaders capable of serving their society. Therefore, it's not enough to teach science or business or any other discipline if we don't teach values. As President Bliss implied, we need not only very good professionals, we need individuals who are honest, who care for those who have less, and who create opportunities for people to live better and a more prosperous life. And in some sad ways, the world hasn't changed too much in the last 151 years. Poverty continues to be a crisis that grows with the population. Nearly half of the world's people, more than 2 billion people, live on less than 2.50 US cents a day. More than 1.3 billion live in extreme poverty, less than $1.25 a day. And 1 billion children worldwide are living in poverty. And add to that the ongoing global conflicts, political divisiveness, threats of war, and the recent concerns we have about the devastating effect of climate change. In 800,000 years, and believe me, I was not there to take the first data, we had never reached 300 parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere. But since the Industrial Revolution, the CO2 concentration has been increasing dramatically, and today we are at 404 parts per billion of CO2 in the atmosphere. Perhaps we are at an irreversible point. And education is a powerful tool, and it's our responsibility to use it effectively in helping to contribute to the society of the future. One that is sustainable, peaceful, just, and prosperous. As members of the university community, we have the responsibility to role model the behaviors and attitudes that we wish to see in the world. That is why I believe in the words of President Bliss, and that they are more relevant today than ever. And today we have the technology. Perhaps in the next 12 months, there will be more science produced than in all our history. We have been able to send vehicles to Mars and beyond. And we cannot solve malnutrition and better health. Why do we spend so much money on things that destroy us, like arms, rather than improving the quality of life of our people? Imagine that if we stop spending money on arms only for 12 days of the year, with that money saved, we could educate all the children of the world and change their lives. So academic institutions have the opportunity to address these issues by forming leaders of change. It is our responsibility as universities to join together in the mission of saving our future. And to do this, we must fortify women and men with human values. We must also partner with other institutions, other universities, to amplify our impact. We should not see other universities as our competitor, but rather our allies. AUB can look at the South. We have been looking at the North for a long time. But there are great international research centers and excellent universities in Latin America, just to mention 2 continents, that AUB can partner with. These continents are rich in opportunities. For example, the rainforests of the tropics have between 50 and 80% of the planet's flora and fauna, making this region the world's most biodiverse. With the genetic material of the tropics, we can potentially improve species of plants that can increase production and resist diseases that we combat with chemical methods today. We may have the cure for incurable diseases like the Chagas disease, which is endemic to Latin America and it's more deadly than AIDS over there. It's called the poor man's disease because the insect that transmits the disease lives in thatched roof houses, which are usually inhabited by poor people. Pharmaceutical companies are not interested in finding a cure for the disease because it is not of commercial interest to them, talking about values. However, the university I come from in Costa Rica, Earth University, partnered with the National Space Agency of the United States to launch the first Latin American experiment to space. And we crystallized several vital enzymes of the parasite in zero gravity. And so you can form almost perfect crystals, and when they came back to Earth with X-ray diffraction, you can find the molecular structure of the enzyme. And then with products extracted from the rainforest, we could find a blocking agent that could block the enzyme, kill the parasite in vitro. So the potential is there to develop other medicines, cosmetics, fungicides, insecticides, as well as resistant varieties of plants to the different diseases. Another area that we may partner with the South is on food production. Latin America and Africa hold enormous potential to increase global production, food production. For example, the recent peace agreement in Colombia has opened up vast areas once occupied by the guerrillas and the different armies, and these lands are available now for research and for more production of food. And on the other hand, there is a surge of resources that are being invested in sub-Saharan Africa, in education, research centers, and in the production of food that are having very positive impacts on this continent. And a third opportunity for collaboration with the Global South is on clean energy. Yesterday, a week ago, we inaugurated the first hydrogen bus in Latin America. And it's very unique because we are producing hydrogen by breaking the water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen by using clean energy, eolic, solar, and hydroelectric energy. And with the hydrogen, we produce electricity to a fuel cell that could mobilize vehicles. We hope that in 20 years from now, we can be totally decarbonized in Costa Rica. But we also want to be carbon neutral in the year 2021, which would be the 200th year of our independence. These initiatives in Costa Rica have earned us the rank of the third greenest country in the world. And let me share one more example with you from my country. Next year marks the 70th year since we abolished the army in Costa Rica. After a revolution, people thought that our president was crazy by abolishing the army. But we abolished the army, and instead of investing in wars, in weapons, we have invested in free education and universal health care. And today we are the oldest democracy in Latin America. Since then we have had no revolutions, no dictators, and we elect a new president every 4 years in a free and democratic elections. We believe in conflict resolution by dialogue, and we have exchanged bullets by votes. Just as I'm sharing with Lebanon examples from Costa Rica, I'm sure my country and others in the South can learn a lot from your history and your rich traditions of thousands of years. Lebanon has been able to withstand tragedies, wars, and come back again and rebuild itself. Your resilience it's an example for the whole world. There is so much we can learn from you here. And I want to address to you, the younger generation. You are the leaders whom the universities are preparing today who will change Lebanon and the region for the better. We need to learn to live together as one country, one human race, heal the wounds, build bridges, not walls, and become a harmonious society. We have to overcome our differences, and show solidarity. We must exchange violence for love, and I know how difficult this is. Today it's urgent that we come together to solve the problems that we face. And I have great faith in the younger generation. You can make this change. You are the leader who can make a difference, and you can start right now. You have a rebellious spirit, as Khalid Gibran once wrote. And I have a major challenge to propose to the students here. 1 year from now, each AUB student will commit to have planted a tree, at least one tree, and take care of it until it's grown enough to make it on its own. And you can plant the tree anywhere you want in Lebanon. And we can make AUB a carbon neutral university. And if you can convince your fellow Lebanese to plant a tree each year, we can make Lebanon a carbon neutral country. I also want to challenge AUB to adopt the mission of turning Lebanon and the Arab region into one of honesty, prosperity, respect, dignity, for opportunities for all, and a region of peace where we can all live in harmony within 20 years. That's our goal. And I'm sure if we have this mission and instill it in each student who comes to AUB, we can change the region and the world. So let's plan that dream too. Fortunately, our institution has a great president, and he's convinced of the role that AUB must and should play during this time. President Khoury has made sure that our curriculum is values-based. He has made a point we should be a values-based academic institution. I have no doubt that AUB will continue to shine as an inspiration to the world as it always has. If nothing more, I hope that you take away from this message today that we have to change. We need our universities to put the students back at the center of the learning process and be explicit about values, attitudes, and responsibilities that everyone at the university must uphold. We should initiate new relationships, especially with the Global South, and build partnerships with other institutions to ensure a unified vision for the future. We must work together to make possible the dreams of more people. The University of the World must be strong forces to create changes. We don't have much time. We need to make sure that the future generations, that our generations, will not disappear. And I have the faith that you, the younger generation especially, you are the force who can change the world and not let down humanity and yourself. Thank you very much.
I think we will have our musical interlude next, as Professor Ramzi Sabra, musician and pharmacologist extraordinaire, will lead us.
زيارة بك العميد وهبي دخل؟ لا. هون يعني هلا اكيد يعني هذا ما عاد عم بسمع هذا بس ما تنسى كمان كانوا بس شوي كثير شوي زين كثير عجب لا بس ربيع هاي الفرع بدي افهم شو انا Another reason to get Syria.